Hey friends, Ashley with Gents Scents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we're taking a look at this fragrance, Rose Inc. from Kierin NYC. And this fragrance right here is animal cruelty free and 100% vegan. Hey, here's the box. Imagine that out of nowhere. So on the front here, we've got the name of the fragrance, Rose Inc., and you have this sort of street art design. I really like the look of it. Got the name of the house, name of the fragrance once more down here, eau de parfum concentration. On this side, you have notes and you have the vibe of the fragrance. So this one is dark, warm, and wild. In the top, you have saffron and black currant. In the mid, damask rose, and in the base, cedar wood and crisp amber. And here is kind of what I alluded to at the beginning of the video: clean, conscious, cruelty-free, and vegan. All right there, right on the front. And then on the side, the other side, we've got some information about the fragrance, basically the idea behind the fragrance, the story that the fragrance is trying to tell. And this one is inspired by a tattoo parlor in the East Village. Then on the bottom, you've got your ingredient information, and the box opens up a little bit uniquely. Most fragrances, you would kind of just pop open the top and take the fragrance out like so, but this one actually opens up on the side. So there we go. It opens up right here, and then the fragrance fits in there. So it actually will look like so. And then we have the bottle. So you're gonna find that same artwork right on the front of the bottle there. Name of the fragrance, once again, Rose Inc., Kierin NYC. You have the Kierin NYC, KNYC at the top of the cap, and you'll also find that on top of the box as well. The cap slides snugly into place. I'll go ahead and waste a couple sprays for you guys here. There we go, nice atomizer. I really like the presentation for the house. It's not too over the top, not too ostentatious, but you do feel like it's a premium product. And the cost for these is actually really nice when you consider that this is a niche indie house. All right, let's talk about the fragrance. So we went over the note breakdown when we were taking a look at the box. Pretty simple, 5 notes. So they're not really giving you a whole heck of a lot there to digest. They're just giving you basically the main things that they want you to key in on. This one opens up with saffron and black currant, and it does actually have kind of an inky vibe to it. Now I know there's not an ink note in here, an ink accord or anything like that. It's just in the name, Rose Inc., and then in the story being inspired by a tattoo parlor. But it does have this sort of inkiness to it. Even though it has that inkiness, at least that I pick up on, don't be discouraged or be freaked out by that. It's not off-putting whatsoever. You get these nice pops of tartness and sweetness at the same time in the opening. Again, the saffron and the black currant. It's really nice and appealing. It does have this nice briskness in the opening, but at the same time, it's got a good amount of depth. So it's like it has this sort of thickness to it as well. Brisk and thick. And I would say that it almost reminds me maybe of even concrete at times in the opening. And I don't mean like freshly poured concrete or asphalt or anything like that. It just gives me at times like this image of concrete, which probably makes no sense. The rose is here really early on. It's not overly powdery, not really feminine. For me, completely unisex. It is at times a little bit dusty, but it doesn't lean that far into the powdery side of that floral aspect. And that black currant from the opening, that gives you that little bit of tartness, that little bit of sweetness, it dies away pretty quickly. It's almost like, if you wanted to kind of imagine it, a rose that's covered in ink, and as the ink drips away off of the petals, you can pick up more of that rosy aroma. That's kind of how it comes across as it dries down. It's not really a dark or jammy rose at that point, not really powdery. It's more fresh, semi-fresh, with a nice woodsy backbone and occasional pops of spiciness. And then once you hit the full dry down, that woodiness with a little dash of amber kind of comes up and melds with the rose. So through the opening and the mid, that rose is really at the forefront. That's one of the most prominent notes, if not the most prominent, depending on what part of the fragrance's lifespan we're talking about. Once you hit the dry down, the woods come up right there with it. So as the rose is coming down, the woods are coming up, and then there's a sprinkling of amber. This fragrance, very easy to wear, very pleasant, definitely unisex. Some people might think it leans slightly feminine, but for me, I think unisex the whole way through. I really, really like the way the rose works in here. I like how it has different nuances that come in and kind of change the aspects of the rose that you're picking up. I especially like the opening and the mid. As far as which seasons I would wear this in, spring and fall. That's gonna be your best bet. It's kind of neutral weather. I think in summer, probably go with something that's a little bit fresher, and in winter, when it's really cold outside, I'd go with something that's a little bit heavier. I think you can use this either day or night. It doesn't really lean too far in either direction. I mean, if I had to, I would say maybe it leans a little bit more toward nighttime wear. But overall, I think you can pull it off either day. So this one, Rose Ink, 89 bucks for 50 mils. Really, really solid. One of the better buys that you're going to find across the entire indie and niche sphere of fragrances as far as the pricing is concerned, with the quality that you're getting here. They do have 4 other fragrances that are out as of right now. There's 10 AM Flirt, Santal Sky, Sunday Brunch, and Nitro Noir. Of those, my favorites would probably be 10 AM Flirt and Sunday Brunch, probably. So there we go, guys, my overall thoughts on Rose Ink from Kierin NYC. If you've smelled this one or any of the other fragrances from the house, let me know what you think about them in the comments below, and I will also link to their website and link to this fragrance as well in the description.